So now for the final part of sketching Undertaker, we are going to focus on the belts that are on the clothes that Undertaker is wearing, and we have already discussed every single part of the upper body or upper clothes of what Undertaker is wearing. So of course, before we start this tutorial, I just want to request that share this video to each and every person in this world, and my only goal is to share art to everyone in this world, right? So today's like goal will be 10. So like, share and comment how much you will rate this tutorial of Undertaker. And as always, if you want to see the real-time sketch and every single thing like 13 or 14 hour sketch of this particular Undertaker tutorial, and there is my second channel, which is Shwet 2.0. You can check out and subscribe to also, where I have uploaded a complete real-time sketches of every single portrait that I have uploaded in this particular channel of mine. Now if you want to buy the every tools that I am using, like charcoal pencils, so many people ask me that which premium quality pencils, which premium quality rubbers and different type of tools that I am using so that my sketches are looking good. But what they don't understand is that your skill matters. It doesn't matter what type of tools, what premium type of pencils that you are using. If you don't have skills, if you don't have practice, if you don't have made 200-300 sketches or 100 sketches, you don't know what the structure of face or a different type of things, what type of shadings are there, techniques and different type of things are there, how to hold pencil and these things. So I am just using the cheap quality, and not just cheap, just what I mean about saying cheap is that not much anyone can afford it, right? So you can find out the links in my description box and you can buy the tools that I use. So even I will say that just improve your skills, and as I always say that focus on your shading first shading, then everything. Shading is the basic thing, and if the foundation of any building is weak, then the building is going to break away, right, or the crash. So of course your base will be clear if you are learning shading first. And if you want to learn shading from me, just comment down below. I will make a tutorial for you all how to shade and different type of techniques to shade and these things. So after starting this tutorial, left side part is almost over, but the right hand and the cloth, that right shoulder he is wearing, there are a little bit of longer portions, longer pipeline things. So to make those pipeline things, there are certain things to make details and then shading. But for this particular lines of the things that are on the cloth of Undertaker, just make outlines first. And what I mean about saying outline is that just don't apply pressure while making outlines. When we were making outlines on the inside part of the clothes, we were just making outlines and then just coloring, or not coloring but using charcoal pencil, we were just shading everything, right? But for this outside part, which is the pipes and the linings are there on the right hand side part of the cloth, on the right hand of Undertaker, there are pipeline things. So to blend it with the every part so that it doesn't look like the drawing or look weird, we are just using a pencil which is the hard charcoal pencil. Sharpen it as much as you can because we want to make outlines, and outlines are so small and so tiny, right? So outlines are not just hard, right? So to focus on the outlines, just zoom out your pictures as much as you can. As I always say, and I will say in every my tutorial, that when you will zoom out your pictures, you will see so many details, and as much as details you will see, you will apply them. To apply details is also art, because so many people see the difference between their art and the portraits. I was just checking my Instagram and I saw so many portraits and they were just awesome. What I mean about saying awesome is that their shading were great, their grid making were great, everything were great, but where they lagged are that was not looking as perfect as just the picture, that reference picture that you are using. And the reason behind is that they are not going for skills and applying everything to make it perfect. If someone is saying that make hyper realistic sketches, they are just using so many tiny details, even the details are not visible in reference picture. Like for an example, if someone is making a Rock's picture, the Rock, Hollywood's greatest star, right, and WWE star also. So I have seen 2 or 3 sketches, hyper realistic sketches, in which the reference picture is not having details, not having pores. What I mean by pores, the skin having so many smaller details, right? So they were just making those smaller details, even they are not visible. But if you are an advanced artist and you know everything about portraits, you can make those details. But as a beginner or intermediate artist, you shouldn't go for those pores and so many smaller details. You can go for those details, but as a beginner, you don't know where the direction of skin going on, right? As a beginner, you know where to start but not where to end, and the directions and smaller to smaller pores, how to make a base layer, and this type of things you will lack in. And this is the reason so many people just use hyper realistic sketches as just making more and more details. And I always request you all that if you are a beginner or intermediate artist, what I mean about intermediate is that you just have made 20 or 30 sketches and you are just starting your sketching career. So I will request you that if you are using a reference picture and if you don't see details, if the cheek or nose or forehead part, this type of part are not having details, not having smaller details, just don't apply them. Just improve your skills as a shading, blending, and this type of things. So after making 100 or 200 sketches, you know the structure, where the smaller pores are going on and different type of things. Then go for hyper realistic sketches. Don't just directly go for hyper realistic sketches, because it will give you a good look, but it will not look perfectly as a reference picture. There is a reason that a reference picture look completely as beautiful as the drawing. So many people in just make pictures as perfect as the same. They just if you will see those reference pictures and their hyper realistic sketches, they both will look completely equal. There are the advanced artists, so just try to copy them also, but you should have your touch also. Every artist have their different touches, right? Every artist have different type of techniques. As I make a one by one boxes at per time, but so many artists just make eyes first, nose first, and different type of techniques they use. But I prefer making one box by box, and grid method is the best thing. And so many people ask me in my comment box also that why I always use grid method, and the simple reason is that I don't know how to use different type of techniques, and I don't have any type of shame telling you all that I don't know different type of technique like direction techniques, directly making sketches, because I prefer that if the reference picture is just 2 centimeters small, right, like 2 centimeter or 5 centimeter sketches. In mobile, if you will zoom out your picture, it will be just 6 centimeter or 7 centimeter. And if you want to make 6 centimeter sketch into bigger one like A3 sheet, which is 40 centimeter, if you want to make it bigger, if you want to make it more bigger, it is easy to use a grid method, and going box by box is the easiest way. I tell you that if you are a beginner or intermediate artist, if you are just starting your career, grid method is the best thing you can use, or best method you can use to make your portraits, right? Now back to the portrait of Undertaker. The belt of Undertaker, that black cloth Undertaker is wearing, is too much shiny on the left hand side part. If you can focus on the reference picture, on the left hand side part belt is too shiny, but on right hand side part it is not shiny. Some parts are shiny. What I mean about shiny is that they are highlighted, or light is coming directly on those parts. So to make a transition between white and black, as we have discussed in part 3 also, it is the too hard thing to make a transition. It takes too many sketches and too many skill and too many hard work or patience. You should have patience to make a transition between darker one and lighter one. If you don't know how to make transitions, there is a need of patience, and there is a need of using tools like rubbers and pencils equally. You shouldn't have just directly make a darker one and just blend it with every part and then making rubber and this type of things. This is a direct things and you shouldn't use that. As I always prefer that, make a base layer, then gradually go for darker ones. Gradually, not directly make a base layer with a hard charcoal pencil. I'm talking about the belt of Undertaker, right? So make outlines first with the hard charcoal pencil. As we have discussed before, sharpen your pencil, and if you don't know how to sharpen your charcoal pencil, I've just uploaded a complete tutorial. You can check out in my channel also. So after sharpening your charcoal pencil, now again make outlines, then go for blending. Blend it with a makeup brush, or you can also use a blending stump also. I'm not using blending stump, but I'm using makeup brush. But if you have a blending stump, you can also use that. But for the base layer, use a hard charcoal pencil, then go for medium charcoal pencil, which is a little bit more darker on the edges of the belt. Edges, what I mean about edges is that the end part of belt or left hand of Undertaker is also covered with the pipeline things. So for those things, just use a hard charcoal pencil to make outlines, and then just use a soft charcoal pencil for the only parts which are completely dark, and just blend it with a makeup brush. And in the end of this tutorial of Undertaker, I have talked about everything in this 4 parts, but the most important thing for any sketches is that you should have patience for sketching, because this sketch took me 15 to 16 hours to sketch it completely. And if I was going for a complete tutorial of Undertaker in just 4 or 5 hours, it will look like a drawing of Undertaker, but it will not give me a perfect look of the reference picture that I am using. It will look like a drawing that I was making just 1 year ago. But now I have improved my skills and I have patience now. I can sit for 8 to 10 hours on a particular sketch. You should have also. Now if you are just starting your art career, I will just recommend you that just start your career as an skill based thing. Just improve your skills, make 50 to 100 sketches, then you will know where to blend, how to shade, and different type of things. And if you don't know this type of techniques, I have uploaded every single thing in this channel. You can check out everything, and we will see you guys in the next tutorial. Next tutorial is going to the biggest one and my favorite movie also, and it's going to be the Batman one. So stay tuned, it will be uploaded on tomorrow. And meanwhile, enjoy the Undertaker's big famous career next month on WrestleMania, 1 day before WrestleMania. So before I say bye bye, just say Undertaker. Okay, so bye bye. We will see you guys in the Batman's tutorial. Bye bye.
So that was all for this tutorial. If you have learned something from this video, subscribe and drop a like. Comment down your question and queries regarding this tutorial. Meanwhile, take care of your loved ones too. Have an artistic day. Tattoos.